Buff Nation.
Let's go. How the hell are you?
How the hell are you? Welcome into DNVR Buffs Primetime. We're presented by Illegal Pete's, everyone's go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers. Jake and RK here. What's up, man?
Not much. Got a great night's sleep last night.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like fully bounced back from Vegas. It's a great feeling.
Love that. Well, you did it in record time, and you still have about a week to burn.
I know. Then we got to be right back.
Yep.
Exactly a week, actually, from now. I guess we can announce that.
We've already been talking about
it.
Okay.
We will be, we talked about it in Neely.
Yeah.
We will be in Vegas for Pac-12 Media Day. Super excited to talk to Coach Prime. It's been a while. And then whoever he brings with him. And super excited to go back to Circa.
Yes.
And Fremont Street in general.
I'm also just excited to, make sure to wear black for the Pac-12's funeral this next weekend.
Oh, sad.
Make sure you exchange numbers with the people you want to keep in touch with and all that good stuff, because probably not going to see him this time next year.
How about Brian Howell going to Big 12 Media Days, a harbinger of things to come?
Yeah. There's might be some smoke coming from that direction, huh?
Yes.
All right.
And it's not just Texas barbecue.
We will get to Sonny Dykes, but 247 Sports put out forecasting 23 true freshmen to watch during the 2023 season.
How many?
23.
Why? Oh, 2023.
Yep.
Got it.
Cormani McClain makes it. There's a few other Pac-12 guys. Dante Moore.
No Dylan Edwards?
No Dylan Edwards. Zachariah Branch, the wide receiver to USC.
Okay.
And then there's a handful of other guys, I think, as well. But do you think Cormani McClain could be the best freshman defensive player in college football this season?
Where did they rank him on this list?
So I don't really know if they ranked him.
Okay. Oh, it's just 23 to watch, not
he's
the
down
top
near
20.
the bottom. Like, if it went descending order, he'd be third, I guess. So
he's third to last on the list.
yes.
But it's not ranked.
No.
Per se. I think he can be. And the reason I think he can be is a reason I've talked about quite a bit, which is that he's going to get the looks.
Yep.
I recently just tapped back into some Travis Hunter film. Like, you get removed from these things, right? Because you're like watching Kari Mann's film or something.
Right.
And it's been 6 months since Travis Hunter became a Buff. So I just like went back and watched your film room on Travis Hunter, and I was like, oh, right. He's that good.
Yeah.
He's that good.
Yeah.
No one's throwing at him.
No. Why would you?
No. He's like so sound and technically strong. And if he didn't have that Jerry Jeudy movement to him, I would actually say he kind of reminds me of Pat Surtain in the sense that his film is not exciting to watch from a flash standpoint, because he's just like, most of the time he's just in the right place and the guy just like runs around and he just runs with him and nothing happens.
Right. It's just teach tape.
Yeah, exactly. But he does have like these really crazy breaks on the ball, and he uses those long arms. So he is a little flashier than Pat was on film, because Pat's like the least flashy film I've ever seen.
It's just so clean. He's always in the right position. They don't even bother throwing at him in college.
Yes. But I think, honestly, by week 3, teams are just going to be done throwing at Travis. And they might go into week 1. We'll talk about Sonny Dykes here in a second.
Yep.
They might just say, no, test the freshman.
Yeah.
Well, the freshman is a 6'3" guy who can fly.
Mm-hmm.
And his arms are longer than Travis's.
Yep.
I think. I haven't seen the measurements. But
I think it's pretty clear, yeah.
I think he's going to have a chance to get 7-8 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
And if he does that, then there's a chance he could be considered, the number 1 defensive freshman in the country.
Just watching, some well-off, they're not really doing football drills. They're like kind of chaining with like resistance bands and the chains and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But watching Cormani McClain like backpedal and how quick he explodes out of it, I mean, he's going to be able to jump on so many passes and just get his hand on so many passes.
Yep.
He's going to be a weapon.
I'm excited to get to a practice, see him up close and personal, because when we saw Travis for the first time, I was like, this is the first guy in a while that I just saw and was like, oh, he's different on a practice field at Colorado.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure Cormani is also different.
He is very much so. Another Pac-12 guy. I already said Dante Moore. Mateo Uyunglele, DJ's younger brother.
Is he at Oregon State too?
Plays defensive line at Oregon.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So watch out for him. I believe that's all from the Pac-12. So there was only 4 or 5 out of the 23 from the Pac-12.
Like, who's the favorite to be the number? Is it Nicholas Harbor?
So some guys that we have definitely talked about that made this list. Do you remember Peyton Barber?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his name. The safety that flipped to Peyton Bowen from Oregon to Oklahoma. He was like a 5-star, I believe, as well.
Was Peyton Barber a backup running back in the NFL?
Yeah, he played for Auburn.
Yeah.
Who else? Peter Woods was a defensive tackle that was way up there. He went to Clemson.
Yep, remember him.
And then just Zachariah Branch. This was a guy that was highly ranked. He went to USC. The Buffs were trying to get in late. Of course, didn't really get in. But he is going to be someone to watch out for, as if USC needed another wide receiver.
I'm asking this question rhetorically because I know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of those players with that much talent have the best player in the history of the world at their position teaching them how to play it?
The only one I think you could maybe say that about is the new Ohio State wide receiver, just because they've put out so many. But no, he's going to get the best coaching for his
But
position.
he's not getting taught by Jerry Rice.
Right. That's true.
That was the point I'm making.
Yeah.
Is the best cornerback of all time is taking this 5-star talent who, at least in terms of size, has more physical gifts. And he's going to teach him how to play. So if anyone, like, it's hard to be ready as a freshman.
Yeah, at corner too.
At any position. If anyone's going to be ready, it's going to be Cormani McClain because he's learning from the best ever.
That's true. I think there's only...
And from everything we hear about Cormani, like, he's about that life when it comes to preparing to play football.
Yep. He's one of 2 cornerbacks that make this list.
Who's the other?
The other is a guy out of Notre Dame. His name is Jaden Greathouse.
Okay.
Oh, just kidding. He's a wide receiver. He's the only corner on this list. then.
One corner. Wow. Yeah. It's a hard position, corner. But when you're as physically gifted as Cormani,
Yep.
if you get it, it
Yep.
should come easy to you,
Yep.
like it does for Travis.
The next 5-star cornerback on our radar, Charles Lester III. I don't know if you've seen, but Arden Walker is recruiting him hard on Twitter.
Let's go.
Telling him to pushing up his commitment date because they already know.
Let's go. I love this.
He's been on him and trying to sway him to the black and gold. Zach Blackwood got a 247 Sports transfer rating.
Oh, okay.
He was given 3 stars, an 87 rating. And the little blurb written by Alan True of 247 Sports says he's a big body, but he is not just a space eater plugger. He can move, he can come off a block and get to the ball carrier. He even played some end at Garden City and played standing up. He has pretty good finesse for a bigger guy. Sometimes he can get a bit high, but as it stands, he can move better than and do things that others built like him cannot. So we gave him an 87 here to start and see him as a player with the body type and versatility to make an impact for the Buffaloes.
Love that.
You heard it here first on our Under the Radar players.
Under the radar draft
Yep.
or under the radar list.
Whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Zach Blackwood is legit. And it just goes back to the point that there are so many guys on this team. Like, I'm impressed that they did that breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Because national outlets cannot keep up with this.
No.
And it's why I think there's such a misunderstanding of what the Buffs are going to be.
Yep.
No, like, with all due respect, no national college football host who's, tasked with talking about the state of college football as a whole and is asked a Coach Prime question has ever heard of Zach Blackwood.
No. Unless you watched Garden City football last year.
Right. And I'm not trying to say he's a star.
Right.
But he's better than what they had.
Yeah.
Or he figures to be.
I mean, this team obviously has been looking at the JUCO ranks for a lot of players.
Yep.
And they had that big camp. They've got him before the camp. He was one of the best JUCO prospects in this class.
He was a legitimate target, a guy that they wanted. So keep an eye out.
Yes, for sure. Some other transfer news, and this is, I don't understand this. The Buffs are no longer the top transfer class in the offseason.
What changed?
LSU is just above them now.
Okay.
I don't really know. They have a 66.73 rating. Buffs have a 65.68. So this is just over a point better. And they only have 14 commits.
Maybe I've been down too bad before. I just can't be mad about being number 2. If we were 10 or something all of a sudden, then I would have a legitimate gripe. The one that I do have a gripe with. Did you see what Tom Fornelli said?
I did not.
Do you know who Tom Fornelli is?
Yeah, he's got the
Okay, yeah.
I could see his profile picture.
Yeah, it's what's that show? Oh gosh,
BoJack Horseman.
There you go.
Yeah.
He said that he thinks Colorado. He thinks that Colorado State is going to be so improved that they could beat Colorado.
Oh, I saw this. Get that out of here.
This is what I mean. I mean, that's like a national college football writer.
Yeah.
Who just has no idea what they're building here at Colorado.
They don't. A lot of people don't.
And that's what's so crazy to me is like they're just 1-11. Oh, Coach Prime's all hype, and then that's it. That's like the end. That's the only thing I can assume because I actually have thought Tom Fornelli was like funny and good before.
Yeah.
The only thing I can assume is he just hasn't tapped in at all.
Yeah.
To see what's actually happening here. He knows Travis, Shador, and Coach Prime.
Yep. And he sees 1-11. That's what he sees.
50 whatever transfers out.
Right. So it turns out, I think the reason why this happened, Denver Harris is now rated a 5-star transfer. So Travis is not alone in that category. Texas apparently has one now too.
I really wanted Denver Harris.
I think we all did. We want a lot of those A&M guys.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about it.
I gotta make sure someone just said, "Oh no, got a bookmark it." Great point. Great point. Also, stop calling them Colorado Buffs. Colorado Buffaloes or CU Buffs.
Or CU Buffaloes. I've seen that too.
Because that's what this tweet said. Tom Fornelli at the Cover 3 podcast said today when speaking of the Colorado Buffs. Don't do that. I could see them losing to Colorado State because I think that team could take a pretty good step forward this year. Crazy.
Okay, cool.
I need
in the Mountain West.
I need to bookmark this, and then I need to go find the podcast and screen record.
Oh, man, you're going in. Spicy today, are you?
Respect season.
All right, let's talk about it. Sonny Dykes, it's Big 12 Media Day, or it was yesterday. I don't know if they're doing it today. But he was asked about the challenge of defending Colorado. And we've talked about this. But also some mutual respect from Sonny Dykes, too. When asked about the challenge of facing the Buffs, he said they're going to have a bunch of good players. One thing Deion's done a tremendous job of is attracting players, a lot of really high-quality transfers. They're going to be hard to evaluate. You're going to be watching like 60 different teams trying to figure out who these guys are and what they do. He continued, you go back and you look at Shador, his son, who's a really good quarterback. It starts there. How are we going to defend him, and what are we going to do? You've got to do the best you can to look at their key players. Their depth chart's going to be evolving. So many different players from so many different programs. He finished by saying, the biggest thing you've got to do is worry about yourself, really.
I think that's all they can do, really, to be honest. Also, shout out to Eric. He's the one who tagged me in that, Eric Morse. I might not always respond when you tag me in things, but I appreciate seeing it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was thinking about this last night, about having to watch that many teams to prepare for one opponent. And I think it's actually an impossible task. Now, Sonny Dykes has nothing but time between now and the game. So if he wants to start preparing now, he sure could. But to me, it's not about time. It's about retention. How can you gather all that data and then put it together in a way that makes sense to prepare for one team?
Yeah.
There's too many variables.
Yeah.
You can go back and watch Shedeur. You have to, right? You're going to watch a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can learn about him. Guess what? Different offense, different weapons, different offensive line, different running backs. It doesn't matter all that much. You gather a little piece of information. You can watch Travis Hunter. You will, of course. You can't really watch him that much at a wide receiver.
Right.
And 2, different defensive line, different secondary. There's so many things. And then you keep going down the list. You're going to have to watch Cormani McClain. You're watching him play high school football.
Dylan Edwards.
You're going to have to watch Dylan Edwards.
You're going to have to go back to 2021 to watch Alton McCaskill.
How are you going to watch Demoy Kennedy?
Yeah.
There's too many. Even the cold, hard film, Kent State.
Mm-hmm.
Even that isn't that valuable to you. You're like, you're spending so much time to glean just slivers.
Right.
Slivers of information that can't really help you prepare that much. I almost get the feeling that you're wasting your time even trying.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to watch a few things. You got to watch Shedeur. You got to watch Kent State. Other than that, you're kind of wasting your time watching any of it.
Exactly.
There's no point watching Colorado film.
No. There's literally no reason.
Actually, that would be a great quote to get. Will you watch any Colorado film in preparing for that game?
I mean, what for Trevor?
I just want to hear him say it so we can use it every time someone compares this team to 1-11. Because if asked that, he would have said no.
Yeah.
There's nothing to see.
Right. Well, and they played them last year too. You can't even go rewatch the game from last year when you were just getting settled in as a new head coach. Like it's all out the window now.
Man. Yeah, the more I think about it, like I'm just trying to think if I was doing this.
Where would you start? Besides Shedeur, I guess.
Yeah, I start with Shedeur. I move on to then Kent State.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, you're trying to compare what he's doing with Colin Schlee and what was that wide receiver that we liked?
Dante Cephas.
Dante Cephas to what he's going to be doing with Shedeur Sanders and Jimmy Horn and Travis Hunter. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know, all of those things, you know, Sean Lewis is a smart guy. What he ran on 3rd and 3 was all based on his personnel, not based on what he likes on 3rd and 3. So it's a waste. It's a waste of time. I really don't think that it makes sense to try and watch all these players.
And I think that's why his last quote, "You've just got to worry about yourself," really is probably the best approach.
That's the only approach. It really is. And so then I was thinking about this from a betting angle.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, like, do you bet the first quarter or first half over in this game? Because both teams are going to be really at a loss for what the other team's going to be doing on offense? Or is it more of an unders because like both offenses are going to be trying to find their groove?
Right. I mean, TCU's got to replace a lot on offense. I think I'd lean just offense. Maybe the defense is taking over early.
Yeah.
So I'd probably lean under, I guess, in that regard.
I thought the same. I originally thought the first thing I said, and I ended up settling on no. I think it's actually going to maybe be a slow start.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Buffs offense will look great and the Buffs defense will look great.
Yeah.
They'll even each other out.
I mean, could you imagine if it's like 8 minutes left in the second quarter, the score is CU 21, TCU like 3?
Man, I don't know how I'm going to keep myself in shape for these post-game shows if
You
stuff
have
like that's
to.
happening.
We need you. Unk and I need you. Also, shout out Unk, 75K on YouTube.
Hey.
Let's go,
There
man.
we go. There we go. Huge round of applause.
Yeah. We're right behind
We are, at least in terms of our growth rate, we're closing in.
it. Hell yeah, we are.
Thanks to you guys.
All right. Shout out to our friends over at Shady Rays. It's a beautiful day out here in Denver. I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you guys are in the chat or wherever you're listening. Shady Rays has you covered. Strong, durable frames, extremely polarized, and clear optics. You can shop their entire collection at the Park Meadows Mall or go to shadyrays.com. I mean, how many sunglasses do they have? Like, it's got to be hundreds in terms of combinations of colors, frames, style.
Oh, yeah.
They have so many. Head on to Shady Rays. Use the code DNVR. You'll get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. And you could try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. And then shout out to Shador's number 2 barbecue. Do you know who could use some Shador's number 2?
Who?
Lincoln Riley.
Oh, I don't know what this is a reference to.
Have you seen him cook a brisket?
No.
That picture?
No.
Oh, you've never seen that?
No.
Oh, man.
I'll find it.
So he just posted a picture the other day. He made like a big tuna or something.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. You haven't seen the OG brisket, though?
No.
Take a look at that.
Lincoln Riley brisket.
While you look that up, Shador's number 2 is a tomato-based, rich, thick, sweet molasses-style barbecue sauce with tangy vinegar and fiery heat. Finishes with a subtle smoky note.
Ooh.
Did you find it?
Why is it so gray?
There.
No, that's the
tuna.
So people freaked out over this. My take, it's actually too cooked.
The tuna?
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Oh, is that the? Because what I saw a couple tweets being like, "What is this? Why is it so raw?" But like, I actually think the opposite.
Right.
I like my tuna just like, psh, psh,
Just a little sear.
1 second on each side,
Yeah.
damn near.
Did you find the brisket, though?
Yeah, that's
It's appalling.
it's tough. What?
No. I'll find it for you.
That
Anyways,
was, I think that was petrified wood you just showed.
Anyways, go to plbsc.com. Use the code ALLCITY, all caps, all one word at checkout. You'll get 10% off your order of Shador's number 2. I'll find this for you, yeah.
Dude, that really was. The caption on that video that he just showed was, "Without cheating, what is this?" And it's like some sort of rock. And someone
Jeez.
quote tweeted and said, Lincoln
Riley's
Riley's brisket.
I found it. I'm sending it to you. I got it.
Come on, Yaya. Where are your search skills
I
at?
literally typed in Lincoln Riley brisket, so.
I did too, and that's all that came up, tuna.
All right, check Slack. It's in there.
Oh, I saw that, but it just looks weird.
Well, that's it.
Chris said, "Oh, hell no, I ain't eating raw fish." I think raw fish might be my favorite thing to eat.
Not a big fish guy. Can't do it.
It's no sushi,
I will some sushi.
like California rolls.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, look at that, man.
Oh, it's the same color as the cutting board.
I know. There's like no. He sliced the hell out of that thing. Where's
Where's
the juice?
Usually you can like take a good cut of brisket and like squeeze it. And
Right.
just juices.
His burnt ends are actually burnt.
Yeah, they're just
Obliterated.
wood chips. Why post that?
He's Lincoln Riley. Who knows?
Even the tuna, like, it didn't look good.
Maybe
it wasn't
we-
aesthetically pleasing.
Right? Maybe we should take him a bottle and offer it to him.
We should. Well, that's a home game, right?
Yeah, I'm
So
saying
we-
next week though.
Oh, we should. That's great content.
We'll
Oh,
see.
that would actually probably end poorly for us.
It probably would. The USC fans would be on our ass.
Well, they wouldn't find out about it. Actually, they probably would.
Oh, they're very online. I'll tell you that. All right, let's play fill in the blank.
Two different people. Is that beef jerky?
Riley jerky.
Holy shit, that's great.
Let's play fill in the blank, Yaya.
You know what we call that? Lincoln logs.
Fill in the blank, Ryan. When the Buffs play blank, they will play their best game of the season.
Oh, wow. I needed to be prepared for this. Let me just Google the schedule real quick. Okay, so my initial thought, just for full disclosure, was CSU.
Uh-huh.
2 legitimate challenges to start the season, and then you get Colorado State, a night game at home.
Yep.
I think in terms of a score, that might end up being the best, but I do think that's too early. So
Right.
I will say
That's the part of this. You got to think of the timing of the season.
Stanford at home will be their best game of the season.
Interesting. I will say UCLA coming off the bye.
Okay.
It's a road game, but you get that extra day from the Stanford game because it's a Friday night. You got 2 whole weeks and change. I think by that time we'll kind of know who the impact players are and what the calling cards are for offense and defense. and they'll be rolling. It'll be a machine.
I like it. Utah is a good answer. You know, a lot of people saying Utah.
There's another. We'll come back around.
Okay,
There's
I was just
another
going to say I don't trust the weather.
Yeah. Next one. Other than Caleb and Shador, last drive of the game, trailing by 4, you want blank to be your quarterback. Just Pac-12 quarterbacks.
The first time I read this, I thought you were talking about Caleb Mathis, and I was very confused. That's just how black and gold my brain is colored. Okay, last drive of the game, trailing by 4, and I get any quarterback in college football or just Pac-12?
We can do both if you want. I was just thinking Pac-12, though.
Okay, Pac-12. Give me Penix.
That's my guy.
Yeah. I just trust him to put the ball where it needs to be.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's why I talk so much about Shador's accuracy.
Underrated pick, and I thought this is where you were going to go, JDL, because that guy's a gamer.
I want JDL down 17 at the start of the 4th. You know what I mean?
Right. Where he can completely cut it loose.
Exactly. He's J.R. Smith at the end of a basketball game where they're down 15, just letting it fly from 35 feet. Just every play he's trying to win the game. That's what I love my JDL.
Do you have a non-Pac-12 quarterback you'd like to throw out?
I mean Drake May.
Drake May's a good one. Joe Milton, the big arm.
Joe Milton hype is getting crazy.
It is getting crazy.
I was excited about Joe Milton, and then everyone got too excited about him.
He got benched by Cade McNamara at Michigan.
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy, I'll throw his name out too.
No, you won't. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. Is there anyone that I'm just like, they're just a dog? KJ Jefferson?
I don't know where I'm at with KJ still.
Okay. I need honestly, last year I probably would have picked Max Duggan.
That's a hell of a pick.
Yeah.
That's a great pick.
I just like those guys who just can't they refuse to take no for an answer.
Right. I'm pulling up some names here.
It's mean PD swag.
What do you say? Oh my god. How about Cam Rising?
No.
No?
I hate Cam Rising.
He's been there for so long.
And he was like a JUCO transfer or something.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Jordan Travis is a good pick.
Jordan Travis as well. Sam Hartman. All right, circling back to the first one. It will take blank amount of games before the Buffs are at their peak in 2023.
How is that different from they'll play their best game?
You can play a good game without being at your peak.
I mean, you said CSU. You explained that one.
Yeah, that's true.
And someone threw out Utah, and that would mean that if they're peaking at the Utah game, that could mean that they're damn good,
or that it just took a while.
It took a while.
Their peak. That's a hard one for me to think about. It can't be too early. It can't be too late. It's got to be somewhere in the middle for me to feel good about it. So maybe I'll go back to Stanford.
I'll throw out Oregon State.
Well, does their peak mean it's all downhill from there, or can they stay at the peak?
No, I mean, you can, when you reach the peak, you may dip down a little bit, but you're still higher than you were before.
Okay. So they're playing they've reached the best football they're going to play this season.
We will say the Buffs are rolling, basically.
Because I was going to say, they might play the best football that they've played all season in the Utah game.
Right.
Which means, wouldn't that mean they reached a new peak?
It could, but what if they only win 4 games before then, and it's a 5th win that doesn't even mean anything for bowl eligibility?
Yeah.
Is it better to say, when are they going to reach their full potential?
It's kind of what it's saying, right?
Yeah, just with that placement better?
I think they're going to get better every single week through the whole season. So I'll say Utah.
All right. I was thinking a little bit sooner, just in terms of peaks and valleys, like I said. So I figured Arizona or the Oregon State game.
I looked at Arizona was my first reaction.
Yeah. That'll be a fun one. All right, next one. At next week's media day, blank will be the most entertaining head coach other than Coach Prime.
Huh. Well, it'll be a massive drop off there.
For sure.
Who are the guys? Oh,
You got Lincoln, you got Dillingham, you got Jed Fish.
I'm gonna guess it's Dillingham.
Chip Kelly. Really?
Yeah. There's I say there's a less than 0 chance we end up at a table with Kenny Dillingham at
be
some
fun.
point during our trip to Vegas.
Let's go.
He's just one of us.
He really is.
That's the weirdest thing I discovered when I was at the Super Bowl. Is he's just one of the guys
Yep.
in his early 30s, late 20s. Like,
You might be older than him.
I think he's 32,
Okay.
so he's got a year on me.
Yeah.
But like, he might just be coming to like the $10 blackjack table with us
Right.
at some point.
You don't think like Chip Kelly or Lincoln Riley comes out spicy though? You know,
Chip Kelly sucks. Just like to
Well,
talk
just-
to hear from.
with the Big Ten angle. Obviously, I think people are going to take shots at them.
I hope they do. Maybe I'll just do a bit where I'm just like super aggressive Pac-12 guy. Yeah. No, Chip Kelly's horrible. Just terrible quote. Boring person. Lincoln Riley, no.
Dan Lanning? No?
So
you're going with Kenny. Jed Fish would be a good
I
one
could
too.
see Jed Fish saying something really spicy.
Yep.
I don't know what it's going to be about. Maybe it's about them leaving the Pac-12.
Do you think that after media day we could use context clues to piece together who was the anonymous coach or team that took a shot at Coach Prime?
Maybe. But I'm going to ask one of them, do you watch Colorado film from last year this year?
Oh, it's going to be a fun day next week. The Buffs player with the most Prime-like swag is blank.
Shiloh.
That's too easy. I was going to say Cormani.
If you make me choose a non-family member, I would say Travis.
That's kind of cheating too.
His last name is not Sanders. It's fair game.
That's true.
But he is basically part of the family.
Jimmy Horn's got some serious Prime-like swag as well.
He does. Yeah. I mean, Travis's athletic arrogance is so similar to Coach Prime.
That is true. Jimmy, Travis J, that's a good one. A lot of Jimmys.
To be fair, even the saying Prime-like swag, it doesn't even
I mean, it doesn't hold the
exist.
candle. Yeah.
Doesn't exist. He's one of one.
Right. All right, last one. The best Pac-12 stadium besides Folsom Field is blank.
Great question. All right, let's go in reverse order here. Let's eliminate the shit ones.
All right, so we get
ASU
ASU.
Stadium gone. Arizona Stadium should have gone before ASU's.
Cal,
Trash. Stanford, trash.
Washington State.
Washington State, kind of cool. Definitely out.
What about USC and UCLA?
USC, gone. Great. It could be cool. It isn't. The Rose Bowl, great for the Rose Bowl. Great for soccer games. Terrible for a Saturday afternoon football game.
Does Oregon State even count? They don't even have a whole stadium yet.
Oregon State's out.
So now we have Oregon and Washington and Utah.
Utah, gone. Those people are like racist and terrible.
That's true.
So it's down to Oregon or Washington.
And they're both damn good.
Washington has a big track around the field that makes you so far from the field when you're in the stands.
Right.
So it goes to Oregon.
I think you're right. I just remember watching Oregon games from back in the day, and that stadium always got lit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, I think in the last NCAA game, they had like the home field advantage. I think it was ranked like number 1 or number 2.
For sure. Yeah. All right, that was fun.
That was fun. I will say Utah Stadium is nice. It was like part of the Olympics when they were in Salt Lake. They like upgraded it and did a bunch of nice stuff to it. So it is nice, but their fans are like, you talk to players who have played there, they'll say they're the worst fans in the Pac-12.
I'm
Easy.
sure. I think it's the only. Well, I've been to ASU but it's one of the only Pac-12 stadiums I've been to besides Folsom.
I've been to most. I'd love to. If we're gonna leave the Pac-12, I would love to try and like complete the full set this year.
We don't get Cal. Who else do we miss this year?
I haven't been to Cal either.
I think we got everyone else actually. All right. Shout out to our friends at Saturday Neon. Check in on the spirit of the Buffs. Where are we at?
You guys like nicely set it up here for me, and then I just keep dropping it. Can you star Big Teasy's question there? Yeah. Spirit of the Buffs is great, by the way.
Love it. Saturday Neon's a company started by two friends and former college roommates at CU. They make officially licensed collegiate logo LED signs. They're based out of Denver. They ship with everything you need to mount, power, and dim, so every sign is easy to install and operate. All their signs are backed by a 2-year warranty, and they've got 19 select schools, including Colorado. Go to SaturdayNeon.com and use the code DNVR. You'll get 10% off of your order today. Free shipping for orders over $200 as well. And then, as always, Backus and Shanker, if you get hurt, they are here to help. They've been helping Colorado families win for more than 25 years. They've won over $1 billion for their clients. You can visit their neighborhood offices in Denver, Aurora, Englewood, and Fort Collins. Backus and Shanker have the strength and power to win your case. More than 30 lawyers and 100 people on staff. And they help with all kinds of injury cases where you weren't at fault: car accidents, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrian, trucks. They can even help if you were injured at work. Smash that Shadora line, 222-2222, to find out if you have a case for free. Backus and Shanker wins.
All right.
Some great questions I saw today.
Let's go. Jay's always brings great questions.
Jay's always brings it, yep. All right. When/if NCAA 24 comes out, what are 3 teams you would put in a different conference, and which conference in dynasty mode? I always move Notre Dame to the Big Ten.
Putting Nebraska in the fucking Big Sky or some shit. CSU can go there too. And I will move. What would be a fun team to put? Let's move Colorado to the Big Ten.
There you go.
Actually, no. If we're moving Colorado to the Big Ten, Nebraska can stay.
So conditional.
Yes.
What I always used to do, I always used to make like a Texas conference.
Oh,
So all the schools from Texas, I just throw in there.
that's cool.
And whenever I would like,
It's kind of like the Southwest Conference.
right, exactly, like the old school conference. And then I always loved, like, I don't know, if I played with a school that was up and coming, just move them right into the SEC or Big Ten.
Nice.
Get out Rutgers, get out Vanderbilt, just have a super conference and just go through the gauntlet year in, year out.
Wow, you were doing super conferences before the All-State and State Farm.
Dude, this was the best part about that NCAA 14 game was they put in that you can change the conference things.
I don't think I ever messed with it.
Really?
Yeah.
It was fun. You could do it like in Dynasty mode. You could do it after each season too.
Sick.
Yeah.
I love that.
Jays again, what other 1-11 team would you feel, or team you feel would have a better year and team you feel would stay 1-11?
What other 1-11 team do you feel would have a better year? So, okay. I don't know all the what other teams went 1-11? Like we know USF. What was Northwestern's record last
I
year?
think they won one game as well.
They beat Nebraska in week 0 and never won another game.
They won 1 or 2 games last year.
Holy shit.
Nevada was really bad last year. I think they only won 2 games. UConn was really bad.
No, I thought they were improved because of
were they?
face.
Let's see. I might be reading a year-old article here, and I am.
Anyways, okay. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't pay enough attention to other teams, to be completely honest.
Yeah. King Mars, how did the Pac-12 wide receivers rank? Who should we look out for? TCU wide receivers went to the draft.
Sure did.
USC
has a great room.
Dorian Singer, yeah.
Yep. Arizona actually still brings back some decent talent there, and they got a good transfer, I think.
They got MLC.
Right. I knew there was someone in there.
But they got Teteroa McMillan, who's an absolute beast.
Yep.
And then Jacob Cowing, too.
I really liked Cowing.
Yeah.
I liked him better than Singer.
Yeah.
Oregon
and Oregon State.
Yep.
Slade Bolden. Washington with Romo Dunze. He's probably one of the top guys. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And then Cal had J. Michael Sturdivant and Jeremiah Hunter last year. Sturdivant's at UCLA, but Hunter was the leading receiver, I believe, last year. So,
didn't they start the game with like 3 out of their first 5 plays were reverses or jet sweeps to Sturdivant? They're just like trying to get the ball in his hands. They didn't want to have to throw it.
That sounds like Cal play calling, though.
Yeah, good old Billy Muss.
I'm trying to think who else. I think that's about it, though. Minister Philly, are there any CU players who were on a 111 team besides the returning players from last year's CU team? If not, then outsiders to stop using that record against this new team. I mean, besides Jimmy Horn and Weaver, CU wasn't that bad. They weren't 1-11 bad before.
I said this in a conversation with you and Neely today. Jimmy Horn is going to end up being a poster child for the transfer portal. Not that the transfer portal necessarily needs a poster child, but the reason I say that is because he is so talented, and he was stuck on a 1-11 team with a terrible quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And the same could be said for like maybe Montana Lamoni's Craig, you know,
right.
Or Jordan Tyson. Like they might end up looking so much better, but I truly believe that Jimmy Horn is like a freak athlete with insane skills that were completely useless because the quarterback couldn't get him the ball.
Right. Side note, I love how he runs, by the way. I don't know why. It reminds me of like a jet.
It's I know what you mean. It reminds me of Steve Smith.
Just when you see him running head on at you, it's like he just, obviously he's moving fast.
It's
but
powerful
the way he moves,
speed.
Yeah.
It's powerful speed. Yep. I know exactly what you mean. Like, we were talking on the Bronco show just a second ago about Jerry Jeudy, about how like it feels like he's going to get hurt every time he has the ball.
Right.
It's like the opposite with Jimmy. Like, he feels like his speed is like delivering the blow.
Yep. Angela, what's up? Did you ever think you would see the day Lil Wayne dropped a bar with Colorado and Uncle Prime at the SBs? Mind blowing. They really hate Coach Prime.
That was sick. That was sick.
Dope.
Lil Wayne getting the Coach Prime bar in there. I mean, the only thing I can comp it to is like Ice Cube wearing the Buffs hat in the NWA days. Like, that's like where we're back there somehow already.
Yep, it's crazy. Angela again. Will Coach Prime, Pat Shermer, and Sean Lewis watch the GA tape and Georgia tape and destroy the 335? TCU tape is very valuable. I mean, I don't even think CU can take anything from that game.
They can't. First of all, TCU is an entirely different team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they lost their best corner, their best linebacker, their best defensive lineman,
and their offensive coordinator.
Their center,
best pass rusher,
their quarterback, their running back, their two best receivers. I mean, it's a whole different team.
Mm-hmm.
But even more so, we're talking about Georgia, who was an unbelievable college football team last year.
Right.
So when you have an offensive line that good, you can destroy the 335 pretty easily.
Yep. Or just run the damn ball.
And it's no disrespect to the Buffs. It just wouldn't be valuable to them to look at it, in my opinion.
They come out in 3-3-5, just punch them in the mouth. Come out in 12 personnel, bring out 2 big tight ends, and just
love that.
Dare them to stop.
And they're not going to have the linebackers to execute that anymore.
No.
Like the plays, I can't remember that guy's name. But they had, kind of just one of those do-it-all college football linebackers last year.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole 3-3-5 is kind of filtering plays to your linebackers to allow them to make plays. And he was doing everything for them. So it'll be tougher for them. That 3-3-5 is going to be over by next year.
Yeah.
They thought, everyone kind of felt they had something this year. We've heard about how Nebraska's switching to it this year. It'll be figured out quickly.
It when it's ran well, it can be tough to stop, but it's really hard to run well, to have the athletes to cover the space to run that well. Big Teasy, do you think practicing so much in the indoors not developing the The high altitude advantage? No. It
Altitude's the same indoors and outdoors.
Yeah. MLN. What is your take regarding Coach Mo discussing how the players that came in post-purge missed spring ball /training, that he and staff are working with a very brutal clock as a result, plus must play catch-up? I mean, I think it's just the amount of guys. I mean, usually you don't worry about it because you don't have 70-plus new players coming in. I think that's the factor more than anything.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge.
But, of course, if they wanted, I mean, they want everyone there as early as possible. It's just not how it works sometimes, as we've seen.
What are we down to? 51 days to game day?
I can tell you right now.
I think it is.
Chris McCray, did you see where Coach Phillips had surgery giving his mom a kidney? Shout out to Corey Phillips. Donated his kidney to his mom.
Wow.
That's amazing in multiple ways. First off, that they're a match.
Yes.
Because I know that whole process it's insane.
Tenuous, yeah.
But seems like he's doing well. He already posted from like his hospital bed. 51 days, by the way.
But who's counting?
50 tomorrow. Almost, man.
Didn't we have something that we created for the last 50 days?
I don't
You
have
know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Oh, but so that would be 57 days right now because that's 7 more days after it.
We'll have to get back on that.
Yep. No, he used it 0 times.
I honestly don't
It
even
was
know
only
what
for
we're
the
talking
last
about.
50 days. So there we go.
I forgot about it. Steven Tercy, how much are national college football media aware of the CU Nebraska rivalry? It's clearly important to cover the focuses on CU, but the big boys don't ever seem to talk about it.
The only reason why you don't hear about it as much anymore is just because of the conference realignment. It used to be considered one of the great college football rivalries, and especially in the early 2000s.
Well, both teams have been down too.
But both teams have been down for a long time, and they don't play in the same conference anymore. So they've only played 2 times in the last 12 years.
Yeah.
So that's why. But leading up to that week, especially if both teams can get a week 1 win, they'll be hyped, and they'll show all the old highlights and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah. Nicholas, how many games do we think Cormani starts?
All of them.
Yep, as many as he's healthy for, which we hope is all.
Touch wood, but all of them.
PD Swag, serious question for the boys. Which Pac-12 mascot would win in a free-for-all gladiator-style fight to the death? Is this where we bring in the Mike Leach? Well, what's a Sun Devil?
Yes.
Does it have mythical powers?
Yes. We already did the graphic about this, but a Sun Devil would win.
Sun Devil's pretty lethal, man.
Yeah.
And get that husky shit out of here, by the way. They ain't doing anything.
They aren't. All right, what's next?
Eric, if last year's Buffs team with the coaching staff played this year's team and coaching staff, would it be competitive?
No.
It wouldn't be close. Wouldn't even be close. Okay, Mr. Maurice, how has our lives changed since Coach Prime arrived in Colorado?
Yeah, I mean, in so many ways. In so many ways. For one, I wasn't doing this show every day.
Right. Neither was I.
Yeah, before Coach Prime got here. But obviously, I had covered CU for a long time. And it's, my first love is CU football. So knew we had to turn it back up, and it's been a lot of fun. Now we do this every day, and our views are about 100x what they were, and it's everything's different.
I've been a lot busier, I'll say that.
We've made awesome new friends like Neely.
Yeah.
It would take a day to write down all the things that have changed.
And we're still not even in the season.
Yep.
Dolo, how many passing yards number 2 going to put up on TCU?
What's the sweet spot? 300?
I don't even think he has to hit 300.
But I'm just saying 300 is you weren't throwing just to throw, or were you? 275, is that the sweet spot? It's you were consistent, you were efficient, and you had the lead, so you didn't have to throw it a bunch.
Right. I mean, that's what he does. He's spot on. The ball doesn't touch the ground, so he could throw 19 passes, complete 16 of them for 250 yards and get 2-3 touchdowns, and that's a dub.
That's beautiful.
It could be more, though, for sure.
275, that's the number.
James, can we get one legitimately good thing about CSU followed by 60 seconds of blasting them? Same for Nebraska. I've had this idea. I think we may have to bust it out.
What is this idea?
Yeah, say something nice about
Do you want to do it right now or later?
We'll save it.
All right, we'll save it.
Yeah. We'll make a segment out of it.
The best thing about CSU is that they're in Colorado.
Eric, again, when I watch the team in the weight room, there seems to be a lot of team building and bonding. Did you feel that in previous years?
We didn't see in previous years.
Yeah.
That's what makes this so unique is we
Right.
get an inside look at everything. With that being said, I completely agree with you. Like the camaraderie, and I really think there's a powerful thing of not all, but a lot of guys coming from the South to Boulder, Colorado.
Yep.
And banding together to kind of be like, hey, we're bringing home here.
Yep. Same with the Jackson guys.
Yes, and that's what I mean. It's Jackson, it's Florida, all over Florida. It's all of these different places, Texas. Like, there's guys coming from a lot of different places, and rather than, the word isn't complaining, but worrying about the fact that they're so far from home, they're kind of like leaning on each other
Right.
to make it feel more like home. And I think that's a beautiful and powerful thing.
For sure. Eric, again, do we think ESPN College Game Day will show up when USC comes to play Colorado at Folsom? I think that's the one we circle, right?
Yep. Buffs, both sides have to hold up their end of the bargain going into it. But if they do, and I just mean both sides are looking like they're going to have a good season,
Right.
there's a great chance.
And then finally, what's
What?
next in terms of football facilities?
Redoing the west side of the stadium.
Scoreboard would be nice, too.
Bigger scoreboard would be nice for sure.
And whatever happened to the PA system.
It's a sore subject. All right, last one here.
Big TZ, is it important for you and longtime loyals for the team to learn the fight song?
Yes. The team should definitely learn the fight song. It's a long time tradition. And the biggest part of that tradition is in the locker room after games, singing the fight song. Even more so on the road when you get a road dub. Going in that opposing locker room, singing the fight song so loud that the other team can hear it from their locker room.
Yep.
That's all, a part of the tradition. I've said over and over again that I'm very, very open to Coach Prime bringing in new traditions and starting, new culture and all that. But the fight song, that's one that's going to stay.
For sure. That's for every team, too.
Yep.
Gotta learn the
Exactly.
fight song.
Yep.
I'm sure they did it at Jackson. It maybe took Coach Prime a while, but he'll get it here.
Yep. And the fight song is like very much a thing at Colorado. Some schools' fight songs aren't
Right.
as important.
Yeah.
But it's something that the fans sing 20 times a game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's important.
Especially when we're scoring touchdowns. What else do we got? Are we worried about running out of number 2 barbecue for the tailgate? And if so, do we think Shador could hook us up on the spot? I think he may be a little busy.
Yeah, he'll be busy, and I don't think he just carries around 10 bottles of sauce in his backpack.
He does have the sauce, but
Yeah.
maybe we'll have to do that in Vegas next week. Just samples of Shador's.
There we go. In the
With every
casino.
coach or something, or every, hey, Caleb, try this real quick.
Yeah. That would actually be funny. I wonder what. I've never been to one of these. That's actually a disadvantage for us.
I know. Now
We have
that
to talk to Henry to talk about
right.
how much of that sort of content do we have the opportunity to get.
Justin will be there too, though. Cordell Stewart.
Yep.
We're good.
Cordell Stewart was the one teaching everyone the fight song, or starting the process of teaching everyone the fight song.
Do you think he's still on campus?
I've heard that he's still around a lot.
Wow.
pretty crazy
That's amazing
and
man.
awesome.
He's going to have the alums turning up in, we already saw it at the spring game, but man, they're going to be flocking to Folsom this year.
Mm-hmm. One comment said these Florida boys don't give a crap about the fight song. I think they will.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yeah. They're representing the school. They're playing for the team. Like, they're going to care about the fight song.
Guys like Jaquez Robinson, they've got like 2-3 years of eligibility.
What did Cam say when he's here? I'm a Colorado
Buffalo, yeah.
Part of being a Colorado Buffalo is knowing the fight song, and I guarantee you he will.
Right. And, I mean, they learned the fight song at Jackson. All these guys came in from everywhere else.
Is this a part of college football?
Yes. All right, is that it? 3 more likes. Get us to 200, though, before we get out of here. We're at 197. Also,
There we go.
Back into the pod, but make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm sure you'll be seeing quite a lot of stuff coming out from us next week. So,
Yep, absolutely.
are we waiting for these 3 or are we good?
No, we're good.
All
They'll
right.
get them.
See you guys tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.